operating costing. Page number 37, operating costing. So guys, if you remember, when we started off with the cost sheet chapter, we had done something called as cost unit, correct? How the cost is expressed. And that time I had told you that with respect to every other chapter, cost unit will not be a problem, because products or units are tangible items. You can see them. So it's very easy to figure out how much they would cost. But when it comes to services, which is what operating costing is all about, it is intangible. So this area is still under development. Okay, but for whatever services we can figure out the way to cost, we have figured it out. So in service costing, you need to do only two things. What are those two things? First, you have to accumulate costs for that given service. So total costs associated when you are providing that service for your cost period, whatever the cost period may be. Cost period could be 1 year, cost period could be 1 week, cost period could be 1 month, it could be whatever. So for that period, figure out what your total costs are when you're providing that service. Okay. And the second thing that you need to do, very, very important second thing, is to figure out what your cost unit is. So in operating costing, we usually use the concept of a composite cost unit. So we had discussed that day, composite cost unit is nothing but a combination of two units. Okay, so when you go to a hotel, when you ask them for the tariff, what do they say? It is so and so or X amount per room per day, right? So only on that basis you can calculate what the total revenue of the hotel could be and how to basically calculate the costs. So in that case, the cost unit is not per room, not per day, but it is per room day. So the cost unit here consists of two units, rooms and days. Rooms and nights, same thing. In hospitals, the cost unit would be patient days or patient nights or bed days or bed nights. It could also be room days. So in service costing, the first thing is you need to figure out what your cost unit is. Similarly, when we look at transportation, okay, transportation can be divided into two parts. We have passenger transport and we have goods transport. So when we're looking at goods transport, what is goods transport? When goods are being transported from one place to another place. So remember, we did our material chapter. So in the material chapter, what were we constantly doing? We were ordering goods from our supplier, correct? So we would place an order and then the supplier would send the goods. So obviously when the supplier is sending the goods have to be transported between two places. Correct? So if the transportation agency who is involved in the middle would calculate its costs, on what basis would it calculate its costs? Based on goods which are being transported. But because it's a service, what would the cost unit be? So if the goods are in tons, the best way to calculate cost, most accurate way, use the cost unit ton kilometers. So that will give you the cost as per ton per kilometer. Similarly, of course, if the goods are in terms of quintals, then it will be quinton kilometers or kg kilometers, depending on whatever is the unit for weight. But when we are looking at the transportation agency, we will use the composite cost unit, which is a combination of two independent units. Okay, so in this case, tons and kilometers. Similarly, for passenger transport, say you're taking a bus and going between one place and the other. So how will you calculate your costs in relation to what will your cost unit be? Passenger kilometers. There don't say kg kilometers. People will throw stuff at you then. Okay, so there it will be passenger kilometers. So per kilometer, what is the cost associated with one passenger? That is what it means. Okay, so I have given you a list of all the cost units that you could use, but of course in the problem they may not always ask you to calculate as per composite cost unit. So if they've given you a transportation problem, ideally speaking, what will we think that they probably will ask us to calculate the cost per ton kilometer, but the problem is say calculate cost per kilometer, then you calculate what they have given you. Okay, but a better method would be to calculate per ton kilometer. So if nothing is specified in the problem, but it will be specified, then you calculate as per composite cost unit. But if they have specifically told you no, we want only per kilometer, or no, we want only per passenger, then you calculate as per whatever they have asked. Is it okay? So what do we do in this particular chapter? We will first prepare our operating cost sheet. Okay, so this operating cost sheet will consist of operating costs. Operating means service cost sheet. Okay, so operating costs can be divided into two parts. Okay, what are those two parts? Fixed costs and variable costs. Okay, fixed costs and variable costs. So we will divide our entire operating cost sheet into two parts, fixed cost, variable cost, and then we will calculate the total operating costs. Okay, so let's say that this operating total cost is A. Okay, then what will you do? You will calculate cost units. You will calculate cost units. So you will have to figure out in the problem what is the cost unit. Say that is B. Then what will you calculate? Cost per cost unit. How? Total cost by total cost units. Now again, when we look at problems in operating costing, very important is to emphasize on the cost period. Please look for what the cost period is, which means for which period are you going to accumulate cost. Is it going to be 1 year? Is it going to be 1 month? So look for clues. Usually when they ask you a question, calculate, they should mention for what period they want you to calculate. But suppose they don't mention, then what do you look at to figure out what your cost period will be? Look at what they have given you the cost units for. So if they have given you the cost units for the whole year, then calculate cost for the whole year. This is very similar to machine hour rate. Yesterday we had done same thing. There also I told you the same thing. What do? We calculate all machine costs. Same, fixed costs, variable costs. Then after that we divide by the total number of machine hours. There also I told you the same thing. Look at the cost period. If cost period is given, you follow what they have given. If they have not given, what were you supposed to look at? The machine hours. So in yesterday's problem that we did, where setup time was first unproductive, then it was productive, 2592 hours was given. So what did I tell you to do? That since 2592 hours was given and that is for the full year, we will calculate costs also for the full year. So here also the clue is the same. Figure out what the cost units have been given for. If the cost units have been given for the full year, we will take for the full year. Guys, is it okay? Everybody. Now one small thing I want to tell you. There is something called as operating costing and there is something called as operation costing. Are both the same? Why aren't they the same? What is operating and what is operation? Okay, operating is service costing that we are doing now, so you should know that, otherwise you were sleeping till now. What is operation costing? Yes, it is process costing. So guys, operating costing is service costing. Operation costing is process costing. A process. Yesterday we had done process costing, right? Process account. What is a process? A process is nothing but a set of operations. So when many operations are clubbed together, then it becomes a process. So operation costing is process costing. Operating costing is service costing. Please don't get confused. Guys, is it okay? Now, when we look at transportation, okay, when we look at transportation as a service, now you may be asked to calculate the cost unit. What did I tell you the cost unit was? Let's assume ton kilometers. So how do you calculate the total ton kilometers? Number of tons into number of kilometers. Now there are two ways of calculating this cost unit, okay, and those two ways are either we can use absolute ton kilometers or we can use commercial ton kilometers. So let me tell you the difference between the two. So let's say there is a lorry, okay, which goes from say A to B, B to C and C to A. Okay, let's say the distance between A to B is 10 kilometers, B to C is 20 kilometers and C to A is 30 kilometers. Okay, now when the lorry is going from A to B, it is carrying 10 tons. Okay, when the lorry is going from B to C, it is carrying 5 tons. And when the lorry is going from A to C, it is carrying 6 tons. Okay, now I want you to calculate the ton kilometers. So how will you calculate? You will say, ma'am, ton kilometers will be number of tons into number of kilometers. So how will we calculate? First we will calculate between A and B. So how will you calculate number of tons into number of kilometers? What do you get? 10 tons into 10 kilometers, so 100 ton kilometers. Then you will calculate between B and C. So number of tons, 20 kilometers, that is 5 tons into 20 kilometers, 100 ton kilometers. Then you will say, ma'am, then we will calculate between C and A. How many tons? 6 tons into 30 kilometers. So 180 ton kilometers. So total ton kilometers will be how much? 380 ton kilometers. So the way you have calculated these ton kilometers, this way of calculation of ton kilometers is called as absolute ton kilometers. For each part, we have actually taken the number of tons, multiplied it with the actual number of kilometers between the places. Okay, so this is called as your absolute ton kilometers. So what is the other method of calculation? The other method of calculation is commercial ton kilometers. Now it is not technically possible to sit and practically calculate for each and every part the lorry has gone to. Yes, so I have just put 3 destinations here. What if there are 10 destinations in the middle? So it's not possible, correct? So say a lorry is carrying goods, say between many goods from many vendors which have to be transported across a stretch of, say 300 kilometers. And across those 300 kilometers, there are many points where the goods have to be dropped off. So 10 destinations. So it is practically impossible to calculate it like this. Very, very cumbersome. So they have prescribed commercial ton kilometers which can be used. So what are commercial ton kilometers? Commercial ton kilometers, nothing but average load into total kilometers traveled. Simple. So what is your average load? 10 plus 5 plus 6 divided by 3. Average. Into total kilometers traveled. What was the total kilometers traveled? 10 plus 20 plus 30. Now calculate this. 420 ton kilometers. That's it. This is the commercial calculation of ton kilometers. So now in the exam, what do we use? Absolute ton kilometers. Until they specifically tell you use commercial. If they specifically tell you use commercial, then you use commercial. But if they have not told you anything, then we have to use absolute ton kilometers, because in your question you will not have more than 3-4 destinations at the max. So you can easily calculate. You want to copy this? I will scroll down, copy this first.